Hello, this is Gurashi Singh and with Brian Stevens here to present our project Personalized Home Automation with NFC in part with Dr. Nilanjan Banerjee for the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Our project focuses on environmental control in the home. These controls need to be used very often throughout the day, but the question is, how do you control them? For most of us, we use light switches, keypads, and buttons to control our environment. However, for a large part of our population, this task is actually very hard to perform. Our project focuses on helping with childhood development, assisting the visually impaired, the physically impaired, as well as people with memory loss. Common household interfaces such as the light switch are not easy to use physically, and they don't provide any cues as to which device they are controlling, leading to a problem with remembering which interface controls which device. In order to mitigate these issues, we developed our system, HomeOSNFC. Our system utilizes emerging near-field communication technologies found commonly in modern smartphones. Near-field communication, or NFC devices, consists of an inductor coil and a piece of memory. These devices wirelessly power when they come in close proximity of an NFC reader and therefore do not require any batteries. By using NFC tags in conjunction with ever-popular 3D printing technologies, we create a personalizable interface to the home which is easy to hold, intuitive, and memorable. Presented here are some objects that we custom printed at UMBC to control devices that we found in our lab. The HomeOS NFC system is made up of various subsystems that we will now present. We leverage Microsoft's Home Operating System, or HomeOS, which manages users and devices effectively so that our system can be independent of such management. In the scope of our project, even if the users themselves cannot access HomeOS due to any limitations, then an assistant or a family member can help manage the setup of devices and users in the household. Here we see a user being added, Ashish, who is a resident of the household. The user is authenticated through Microsoft Live. Then another user is added, Brian, who is a guest in the household and should not be given the same privileges to control devices as Ashish. Adding devices to HomeOS is just as easy. HomeOS makes it easy to add Z-Wave devices such as the Aeon Smart Energy Switch. These devices have become popular due to the multi-hop Z-Wave network, which allows coverage of the entire house. In our setup, we use 3 devices, a lamp, a fan, and a speaker, all connected to smart energy switches. Here we show adding these devices is very straightforward in HomeOS. We also show the installation of our modified app, Lights, which processes requests for device control in the background. An Aeon Z-Stick is used in our setup to control the Z-Wave devices. To communicate with our app within HomeOS, we use a MySQL database. Here we present our database, which has 3 tables representing available users and devices as well as any requests made by the user. The table for users stores authentication information that is correlated with HomeOS so that user control can be provided. The various devices added are stored in another table. And finally, the requests made by the user are captured and archived in a separate table. Each request consists of a device ID, a user ID, a request type, and the parameters. As our app retrieves a request from the database, we mark it as fulfilled. And if the user requesting has access to perform the task, then we mark the task as successful. Our framework also allows different types of requests, such as a media request, which we will demonstrate later. An Android smartphone is used to read the NFC tags and communicate with our database through HTTP requests. But first, the Android app authenticates the user to maintain security. Here we show our mobile app interface and the user authentication. An instance of failure and success of authentication is shown. This will prevent any unknown users from making requests to our HomeOS app. Once the user has been authenticated, requests can be made to our HomeOS app through the following interface. In our setup, we only allow residents to make requests. So when Brian, who is a guest, makes a request, it is denied. Residents, such as Ashish, have full control over making requests as well as changing the requests stored on various NFC tags. Here we see a successful request of reading being made. Now we will show some real-life demonstrations using our 3D printed objects with corresponding NFC tags. Here we see the user turning on and then off a lamp using our system. Next, we can see the user turning on and off a fan. Then we see our user, who is hungry for some jams, controlling his speakers. As we promised, here's a demonstration of a media request that plays a famous line from a movie, which we are sure the kids will love.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
Our system also provides the ability to reprogram the request stored on NFC tags. In this case, we reprogram the Yoda object to control the lamp through our mobile app and then demonstrate usage of it. Thank you for listening. We hope that you have enjoyed our demonstration as much as we have.